Hey there, Regina Ayla here, and it is time for Tips and Tricks Tuesday. This week, my favorite topic in the world. It is all about standing out. And I have 5 simple ways for you to start standing out right now. So if you are out there and you're posting, maybe you're getting crickets. Maybe you're not quite getting the engagement that you want. It's okay, but not really great. Maybe nobody's coming to you. Maybe you're not getting any interaction with folks. It's not that there's anything wrong with you, it's how you're getting out there. You need to stand out. You need to stand out from everybody else who's doing exactly what you do. The reality is, there are hundreds of thousands of people probably doing the same thing that you do. And in this really crowded online space, everybody's competing for attention. So how do you get attention? Well, this is what I've got for you today is how to stand out in that crowded marketplace. So tip number 1, lead with your story. Now, depending on what you do, some people are a little shy about telling their story. They maybe give their surface story, but they don't give the whole story. The whole story is everything. It's when you're down in the mud and you're covered and everything's wrong and you aren't even sure that you're in the right place anymore. It's that feeling. We've all had it. If you're a business owner who has been in business for any amount of time, at some point or other, you questioned, why am I doing this? Well, you know what? All your potential clients are questioning the same thing, and they like to know that you're human and that you've had those same feelings yourself. Tell everybody your story. Share all of those details and let them know why you do what it is that you do. Why is this personal to you? Why is it that you want to go out and help people succeed in their business or help people succeed with their health journey, or help people with their bookkeeping, help people, whatever it is that you do? Why is it that you do what you do? People want to know. Lead with that story, even all of those messy parts. Number 2, have a real opinion. Now, some people don't want to, rock the boat. And they say, well, I don't want to get too controversial because then people are going to say bad things and, and they might not like me. But that's okay. Not everybody's going to like the way you do things and how you do things and even what you do. And that's okay, because you know what? They're not your clients. They're not your potential clients. They are not even on your radar. So actually, when you talk about controversial topics and you bring up your beliefs and what you think about them, it actually weeds out the people that you don't want to work with anyway. And it sparks conversation, because now you get engagement because there's people going back and forth with you, and it sparks that real engagement on your personal page, your group page, your business page, out in LinkedIn, wherever you're posting. It gives some real back and forth, and that helps not only with getting your information and your content in front of more people, because the algorithm rewards engagement. If you have a lot of engaging posts, the algorithm shows it to more people outside of your circle. And if you have that out there and it's something that's maybe a little controversial, don't worry about the people who come in and say, you're crazy. Why would anybody ever want to do something like that? That's okay. You're the expert. You, me, we're the experts out here. We have our opinion on how to do what's right based on what we know and how we teach and what we do, all of our experience, all that background, all that knowledge. That counts for something. And a lot of the people that are out there spouting what they think should be right don't have that experience. They don't have the same experience, background, or they haven't done the journey that you've done, right? And so that actually makes for some engaging, really engaging conversation. So safe content it gets out there. But if you're honest, and we're not even really saying controversial because, we don't want to put the negative in there, but be honest. If you have an opinion about something, or maybe something, really irks you in your industry, point it out. I'm guessing you might find a lot of people who think the same exact way that you do, and that's a good thing because you know what? Those are your people. Those are the people you want to connect with. So that's about having a real opinion. Now, the next one is one of those ones that people go, oh, seriously, Regina, we're going there again. Niche down further than you think. So if you try to talk to everyone, you get no one. I'm guessing you may have just said that in your head or out loud. So when you try to go and market to everyone, no one replies. Why? Because it's just too broad and there's just too much noise and too much content out there. So you just get passed by. However, when you niche down, you're calling people out. So, the sweetest word in the world to everyone, to anyone, to you is your name. Now, I can't call you out in my content because I don't know your name. We're talking about people that, you don't know yet. So you don't know their name, but you can call them out by who they are and what they do. And that's what we're talking about, that niching down. So when you niche down to a very specific type of person, when that type of person who might be your ideal client reads what you have to say, you immediately have their attention. You grab their attention in an instant, and now they want to know more. So niche down further about who you work with, who you help, and exactly what problem you solve for them, because that makes you stand out to that exact audience. It doesn't mean you're only talk to that audience. You can mix some stuff up and talk to another audience. So if you have a niche and it's up here, but it has, 5 different types of people under there, well, then create content that talks to each one of them. Call them out by who they are. Since you don't know their name, you're calling them out by who they are and what they do. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Number 4 is let your personality show up. If you're a goofball, be a goofball. Don't try to play it safe and be all professional. If you're a goofball, that's who you are. Show up that way. If you are strict and professional, chances are pretty good you're working with the same type of personalities. So show up as strict and professional, direct, professional, however it is. Let your personality show. When I created the unicorn factor about standing out, I've been collecting unicorns since I was 16 years old. Unicorns are something personal to me, part of my personality. Little side secret that you probably don't know about me is that I have one tattoo. Want to guess what it is? It's a unicorn. Because it's a unicorn thing and I've had it for many, 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 many years. So what is that personality? Do you have something in your personality that really makes you stand out? When people see whatever it is, they're like, oh, that's her, that's him. Let that personality show. Let them see your uniqueness, your style, whatever it is. Some people like to color their hair. I know a woman, she's a bookkeeper, and she is one of the best bookkeepers I've seen. She's actually local here, and she colors her hair a flaming red color. You cannot miss her. And she shows up with that same personality. And when I see her across the room, I can't help but smile because I know who she is. I know what she does, and she's instantly recognizable to me because of her personality. That's what we're talking about. Now, I'm not talking about going crazy and calling your hair weird colors or something like that. but find what works for you and let that personality show up in your images, in your writing. If you write with humor, if you speak with humor, if you use certain phrases, certain words, they should be in your content. If you're having AI create all your content and it's not interjecting the you and your words and how you say stuff into it, you need to fix that. AI is a great way to start the content, to say, okay, I need a post for this. Here's what the idea is. So you can craft it there and outline it, and then go in and put you in it and make sure that it stands out as you with your personality. Last but not least, number 5, share your client results. Even if you've worked with somebody, maybe you're starting out and you don't really have a bunch of testimonials and stuff like that, but maybe you tried your stuff out on somebody. Maybe it was a friend, maybe it was a relative, and you tried it out. Just say, hey, how'd that work for you? And then share that information. Share your client results, because it's one thing if you say that you're good at what you do. That's great. Yeah, I can say I'm good at what I do till the cows come home. I've been doing it for over 20 years. I'm good at this. I have a great track record. But that's me talking about me. Anybody can say that about themselves. Is it true? I don't know for everybody. But your clients, when they've had that experience with you, they're now saying it. And when they say it, it's a different story, because it's not you talking about yourself, it's them talking about you. And now somebody from the outside is going, oh yeah, you have to work with so-and-so. Yeah, they're great at this and they helped me do this. So share those client stories. The real wins, those real transformations, those things that really, really helped. And you don't need, a huge list of testimonials or stories to do that with. One will do. And then you can share it out, share it around, let people know that, hey, you actually help people get results with what you do and you're good at it. And somebody else is the one who actually told them that. Excuse me. So this week, or today actually, just pick one of those. Pick one and try it out. Maybe you haven't posted yet today. It's 10:12 Eastern Time AM here right now on the East Coast. Maybe you haven't even done any posts today and you haven't had something scheduled. Take one of these tips. Either lead with your story, post something about a real opinion that you have. Maybe it's a pet peeve about something in your industry, something like that. Niche down to that group that is that person that you're going to call out that person specifically. If it's women 55 and over who are postmenopausal and looking to lose 20 to 30 pounds in the next 6 months. That's very specific. You call that person out, and if that person is looking at your post, they're like, that's me. I got to read this. So you just got their attention, right? So niche down. Again, it's not the only one that you're going to talk to. You're going to talk to others too. You're just going to call them out in your post so that you get their attention. And then let your personality show up. If you like to have fun, have fun. If you've seen any of my posts about my obstacle racing, that's part of what I do. That's who I am. I use my racing as an analogy all the time in business. So what is it that makes you stand out? What is it about your personality? Things that you do. You are your brand, right? You are your brand. So show up as you. Let that personality show. Or if you're going to pick number 5 is share one of your client results. Share a story about how you got them from where they were to where they are now. And let people know that you actually can make a difference in their lives as well, because you've done it for other people before. So those are the 5 simple ways to stand out. Pick one today. Give it a try. Let me know how it works. Comment underneath, or just come out into the group, out into the Stand Out and Succeed group. If you try one of these out, create a post and say, hey, Regina, I tried this one out today. Here's what happened. Even if it flops. If you try one, you're like, I got nothing. I'll be happy to show you how to fix it, to make it so that it works. I'm out here in the group all the time. If you need me, just post there. Tell me what's working and try one of these out and let me know. And if you need me to help you craft it, I can help you do that. That's what I've got for you this week. We'll see you next time on Tips and Tricks Tuesday. Bye for now.